welcome back to the Entrepreneur Life. Again, I'm your boy, Kay Wilson, CEO of Zyban Enterprises. I'm an entrepreneur, amongst other things. Whatever you want to call it, creator, whatever name, title it fits into, whatever people call it these days. That's what I like to do. So, back again, I don't know if you saw the first blog entry just talking about what it is that I'm trying to do here and trying to accomplish, and it's just really just sharing. It's sharing information about what it's like to be an entrepreneur. You know, trying to get away from the glitz and the glamour and all that stuff you see on TV and commercials on social media, and that's cool and all, and that may be reality for some, but probably for the majority of us entrepreneurs, business owners, creators, whatever you call it, it's probably not the life you live. And so what I wanted to do with this is just to talk about some of those things, talk about what that life is like, talk about the balance between, trying to be an entrepreneur, trying to get something off the ground and operate it, and, put your passion and life and everything you have into it, and balancing then your life. And life is crazy as it is, between whatever you got going on and sometimes still holding down a day job and family and craziness, relationships, whatever the case may be, and bills, stress, health, everything. So this is something I wanted to share because this is something it's on my heart, and it's part of the reason why I really went into, and as I started my consulting firm and wanted to help people, especially entrepreneurs, progress and deal with some of those issues, and have someone there that understands and can help guide them through it and navigate some of the craziness that comes along with trying to merge, life and business. So, this blog is probably speaking to you. If that's your life and that's what you're going through, this is probably for you. Like I said, there's some people, and even sometimes I get annoyed when I look at the videos and, everybody's in yachts and everybody's got nice expensive cars and they're driving around, everybody's fancy, and that's cool. Like I said, there's some people that's doing that, but like, not everybody's doing that. And it's like, we always see that. I feel like we're bombarded with that image, and that's cool. That's what a lot of people aspire to do. You're trying to make money, and those are some of the things that you want. I get that, but you still got to get there at some point. And there's a lot of people, and even in my conversations and even clients I work with, that they see that and it's like, yes, that's what I want, and then they start this process and they get discouraged because it's like, wait, that doesn't line up. That's not. I thought everybody lived glamour and you're gonna make money right away and do all this stuff, and doesn't really look like that in the beginning for a lot of people. And so it's like, well, no, let's paint a picture of what this looks like now. And there's still a lot of benefits to this. There's still a lot of fun and joy and all of that, until we get to this point where you got 30-foot yachts and helicopters and Ferraris and all that stuff. So that's what I'm talking to. And again, I said I was going to give this raw, like this is something I wanted to do. I wanted to do it unscripted. I didn't want to have a whole bunch of, glitz and glamour to this in terms of like presentation. I just wanted it to be real. And that's what I'm going to do. And so even like today, I just came back from the gym. As you can see, like I'm in like gym clothes. And I was like, I got a lot on my mind. Let's just sit down in front of the camera and let's just share. And we're going to talk. And so that's how I want to do this. I'm not going to be sitting here in fancy suits. I'm not going to be sitting here in some big corner office. I mean, I'm in my, my man cave here. And so this is my space. This is my creative space, as I like to call it, my lair. And this is what I'm gonna do. So I just got the camera, threw it on. I'm just gonna talk. And so that's what the entrepreneur life is about. That's what this blog is about. It's about sharing. I want this to be interactive. If you have questions, comments, please, let's interact. Let's talk. Like I said, that's part of what Zyban Enterprises does. It's, we're a consulting firm, but it's really about, we help nonprofits, we help small businesses, but also we work with a lot of individuals, people who are just getting started and they not quite sure how this is going to go. They may have an idea, something they want to do, and they have no idea how to navigate everything else. And so, this is another way, hopefully, to try to appeal to you all if that's you, and help. And so that's what we're trying to do. So that's the premise behind the blog, and hopefully you have like any questions, like I say, any comments below, please share. Another thing I wanted to get across today that's kind of been on my mind too is being creative. And this is something even I struggle with in my years in business and helping other people is, I feel like I give everyone so much advice on, hey, how to brand, create, do all this stuff. And it was something I didn't really practice for myself. And so I said, you know what, like, I'm going to have fun with this. This is something I can do and be fun and kind of step outside the boundaries and stuff like that. And if you know me, if those who know me, I am not a fan of the box. I don't like to be put in a box. I don't like to be labeled, things like that. And so I'm also a believer in your business doesn't have to be labeled or put in a box. Be creative in what you're doing. Don't be afraid. I feel like so many times people go into business and they feel like business has to be linear. It has to go this way and look a certain way, and everyone has to follow these rules, and it's so structured and rigid. But there may be some things that are standard to certain industries and processes and how you do things, but you have some creativity in how you operate and how you do certain things. Like I said, don't be afraid to step outside these bounds. For example, and I can tell you some of the things that I'm a firm believer in. I spent years in business. I spent years in nonprofits. I spent years in small businesses working my way up. And some of the things I took away from that, and I said some things I'll never do, because I've realized that, and I started to question, like, why do we do this? Why do we have to operate this way? Why do we have to do certain things? And come to find out, like, no, we really don't. And we're just doing it because everyone's comfortable with it, and we're just going to go along with the flow, and this is how it's been done for, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 years. And we're going to no. Don't be afraid to step out and try something different. That's how innovators push boundaries, and we push the limits of business, and we go to different areas, and you become trendsetters and leaders in industries. And so, even as I'm doing this, like I said, for example, some things I don't believe in 9 to 5. I don't believe in the traditional 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. work time, Monday through Friday. I think that's something that's dated for a lot of different industries, especially for small businesses, and you're mobile, you're on the go, you don't have a particular space. There's so many people that don't have offices, and we live in the world 2018, there's so much technology, and we can move around and be mobile. Why not do it? We don't have to be bound by certain time constraints and certain limits like that. So I don't believe in that. I work whenever. I make my own schedule, and that's not to try to be like, oh, I'm doing all this, but no. One thing for clients, I meet them where their needs are, and a lot of my clients, I can't even get to them during the work day because they're doing other stuff. So I see them afterwards. I see them on weekends. I see them in evenings. We call, we text, we video chat, we message, we do whatever. So I said, well, why, if I'm stuck to a 9 to 5, and I said, I'm cutting off office hours at that, like, I'll never see anybody. I'll never get stuff done. So that's something I do. I don't believe in that. I'm also a believer of, I don't need a traditional office. I don't believe that I have to be at a location all day. That's where I'm sitting. That's what I'm doing. Everything happens there. I don't. Like I said, I can get something done pretty much from everywhere. The things that I do, technology allows me to be mobile. And so why would I don't want to sit in an office all day. Like I said, I did that for years, and it became boring, and I felt disconnected from people because I couldn't move around. And, even like health reasons and stuff like that, which I'll talk about later. I'll get into that at some other point in time, like some other blog. We'll see. But we don't have to do certain things. And so, like, if that's you and that's your industry, sometimes being question certain things like, why do we do this? Why do I have to do this? Is there something else I can do? And a lot of times being creative also makes things easier for you. It may make how you operate and do business easier. It may make your life easier. And like I said, being able to, when you start merging business and the personal life, like certain things may become easier. Like for me, it was easier for me to be able to move around and be mobile and be home more. That was important to me, to be home. So I don't have to sit in office 8, 10, 12 hours a day. And a lot of times, and there were times, like I said, I worked for other large nonprofits and companies, and I felt like I was wasting time. A lot of times I'm sitting in the office, I've done everything I needed to do, I'm waiting for something to happen, and I'll just be sitting there waiting for something to happen, waiting for somebody to come and say, hey, let's do this, or something going on, or, and then I'm just wasting time. So I'm just surfing the internet, or I was starting my own business on the clock. I was doing other stuff to structure and get myself together on their dime. I did stuff like that, and it was just boring. So it's like, if I don't have to do that, why? So I don't, I find that I'm way more productive. And, it took discipline, and, I still plan and structure, and I probably have to do it way more than I would if I was in a location. But that's the trade-off, and that's something I like to do and I'm willing to do because, I like a certain amount of freedom. So I don't, like I said, I don't believe in certain time structures. I don't believe in certain location, structures, staffing, things like that. Like, I work with people all over the country. I have clients all over the world. And so, how I get to them, how I meet with them is a lot through technology. And sometimes, we do face-to-face, and we'll get in front of each other every so often, but there's no need to all the time. I don't have to see the people I work with every day. I don't, we talk just about every day. We communicate, but I don't have to see them all the time, which means I don't, there's a lot, they get freedom. They have flexibility in how they operate into, and I find as a staff that makes life a little easier for them. They're more enthusiastic about working with us because we're flexible with them. So they get to do other things. They get to do what they do. And my thing is, I make sure they're productive. We find ways. I have ways to make sure the work gets done. It gets done. And so we don't have to deal with you come to this office every day, here, these hours. No, we get it done. We do. All that being said, this is The Entrepreneur Life. These are things that we're going to be discussing. If you have any topics, anything you want to add, anything you want to share, let us know. Hit us up. All of the information is going to be provided below. Of course, you can watch this. We'll be on YouTube. We'll also check us out. I'll also post this on our website, on our blog, on our website, ZybenEnterprises.com. And just share, just interact, and tell us what you think. Until next time, peace.